So evaluation infrastructure is kind of a slightly boring title. So what it really means is, how do I know my digitized content is good for what I want to do? Or to paraphrase correctly from Dr. Strangelove, is how I learn to stop worrying and love digitization. So first of all, why? Why do we want to do that? Instead of bothering you with a lot of technical information, which you can read in all our documentation and our website, I want to focus a little bit on why. And it's not just because it's a good idea to do quality assurance and so on, but there are some interesting possibilities which have a lot of impact on digitization workflows and digitization in general. So then, as soon as we identify why we want to do that, then what exactly? So it's not just very simple in evaluating correct words and so on. I'll cover that. And then how? Okay, that's the important bit that came out of this project and the impact and the center of competence. Okay, so in terms of content holders, what do we want to evaluate? First of all, the first exciting thing is different material lends itself in a different way to different OCR workflows and other processing workflows. So if you look at different material, they might be much better suited to digitization now with current tools, and some other material may be prioritized at a lower priority to do it later. So if you have a fixed amount of money and you want to digitize books and newspapers, you can have far more content if you know which content actually lends itself better to OCR now. Right. Also, you evaluate what is the best you can get at this point in time from OCR. Okay, so you have a good idea of what content to expect. With existing content, you can evaluate whether new tools actually make it useful to rescan or even to re-OCR. And you can have an objective evaluation whether your existing content can benefit from rescanning or re-OCRing. Then when it comes to service contracts, you can actually specify very accurately what you want to get from service providers. So if you have a tool like Alethea, for example, you can ground truth, or you can specify exactly what you want and what the output is going to be. So there's no misunderstanding. This is very precise. And of course, a very crucial component as well of why to evaluate is to do quality assurance of the results you get back from service providers. Because it's difficult to measure accurately to say, yes, we did get 80% or 70% correct words, but did you really? In terms of developers and contractors, which actually fits us, or service providers, evaluating actually helps in selecting the best workflow components, right? Which tools, individual tools, will make up the optimal workflow for specific content, for different types of material. Then we can identify in the workflow the specific bottlenecks where errors are happening, so we can try and improve that, create new methods, or retune existing methods. Tuning or optimizing workflow components is very, very important. So once we have ground truth, we know what is the perfect result. We tune methods for segmentation, OCR, and so on to achieve for that particular batch of content. Instead of using a generic tool like RB SDK as it comes, you can tune several components for your specific material, and you get much higher accuracy. And of course, quality assurance before sending stuff to the libraries, because you know they're going to be checking that. Okay, so if I succeeded in explaining why we want that, the need, so what to evaluate? So the common evaluation criterion is word accuracy, right? A lot of people use that. But is it really enough? No. On its own is not of a lot of help. It's a good indication, but you have to see what you actually want to do with the content to be able to say whether it's actually good quality. So, for example, if you just want to query a word, if you just take a newspaper page, for example, or a book, but say the newspaper actually amplifies the example, and the OCR will just recognize every single word perfectly, okay? But the layout is not correct. So you start from column 1, you go to the second column on the top, and then to the third column on the top. So the order of the words is wrong. But all the words are correct. in terms of OCR. It's fine if you just want to query a word and get its position and the page it's on. But if you want to search for a phrase, then you lost that because you don't have the layout, you don't have the reading order. It's useless for this kind of thing. So anything else than just querying a word, and most users now are becoming far more sophisticated in the way they query the results. They want to text mine, they want to know the structure of the document. So the layout and the reading order are very, very important to have and to evaluate. Okay, what else? Documents also have graphical components, right? Illustrations and many other things that people actually, well, OCR tends to ignore. And then correspondingly, a lot of people just focus on the text content only. Okay, so we should not ignore that. And if we want that, which is very, very useful, and we have seen examples of excellent work done on the British Library images, for example, and so on. So there's a lot of interest there, and you want to evaluate whether the illustrations are correct. And also if you have documents which do not lend themselves to OCR, okay? So very difficult documents and it's not practical to OCR. You don't get any good results. You can still evaluate how well you can get, for example, page numbers or headers or headings of chapters and so on. You can create a table of content automatically. You can create an ebook of a facsimile of the document, still deliver that electronically. So you need to evaluate these things. So the layout provides useful information. Also, back to what I was saying in the previous slide, in terms of richness of content. So people might want to search for a particular term, but that term happens to occur on every running header. Okay, so that's not very helpful. So you need to know the layout and exactly where the content you're searching for. So where do we go from there? So in a nutshell, as obvious as it may sound, right, you need to evaluate according to what the use case is going to be, right? So you need to have different use scenarios, not just evaluate blank word content or some other standard metric, right? So some scenario examples, right? Starting from the simple keyword search, right? So you enter, as everybody is familiar, right? You enter a word and you're trying to find occurrences of that for resource discovery or just browsing. More sophisticated is phrase search, right? So for that you do need reading order, right? To get from one column of the same article, right, to the next column or to the next paragraph. Very, very important. Another one is if you have more sophisticated layouts, like a newspaper, you want to search within articles. You don't want to search, you want to find which article contains your term, for example, right? So you do need the layout as well and the reading order. You may want to know components of the page, right? As in page numbers or headings, and actually you may want to search through captions of illustrations, right? So the text in the caption is not part of the main text of the document. So that is very important to be able to say it's special, it's different. So this kind of use scenarios will be different. You may want to just have the layout and reflow it on different devices. So you have a newspaper, you extract individual articles, you want to have each paragraph, each illustration related to the article and send one by one to a mobile device. Okay, so for that, there's nothing to do with OCR necessarily. You can do it basically on the images using layout. So all these use cases, in some cases, word accuracy won't give you much, or it could be a good indication, and many other things you need to consider. Okay, so how can we do that? So through several projects, mostly impact, and then continuing enhancing things through the Succeed conference. So, and within the context of the Impact Center of Competence, we have these evaluation tools, infrastructure that has comprehensive data sets, right, from all the major, or most major libraries presented here also, and in Europe. So we have ground truth, so several representative images of collections and ground truth. the tools to create new ground truth, right? Alethea, we saw it being evaluated at several libraries, and it's been downloaded by hundreds of people so far from different projects and other organizations, commercial and non-commercial. It's been licensed by other organizations. Scenario-based evaluation tools, what we were just talking about. So you can do the layout, the reading order, as well as text accuracy, right? Word and character and other things. And you can actually specify scenarios to say, how correct are the titles of articles, right? Well, do I get all the page numbers correctly, for example? Or things like this. And the results you can get in several levels of details, from the very technical of hundreds of numbers that developers can use to fix minute problems in some images, to very high level reporting of scenarios of, okay, which method is better? Is Abbey or Tesseract or something? You can just get a comparison, and any level of detail in between the top level and the low level of all the details. And it has been used successfully through the Succeed project. We organized 2 competitions, but in previous, ICTA is the main conference for document analysis and recognition. So we had a historical book recognition competition, right, and historical newspaper layout analysis competition. A lot of research laboratories as well as service providers took part. We evaluated also the Abbey Fine Reader SDK, as well as the latest Tesseract. And it makes interesting reading of what can happen with training, no training, and so on. All these are published on our website and on the Succeed website. We are launching a continuous evaluation challenge, so you don't have to wait until a competition, so you just submit results of any method you happen to have in your hand, so devise a new one. Submit the results, see how well it does on particular documents, see all the other methods, how well they've done on your particular documents and this new one. Okay, so complete workflows as well as individual components, segmentation, say, or complete workflow. And another notable was to prove the usefulness in terms of library context. We did have a case study with the Wellcome Trust library. They have mixed content of typewritten things with annotations and lots of other things that they wanted to see what lends itself best to current OCR. So based on that, they prioritized content to be digitized in one way or other. Okay, so last slide. Yeah. So this is just a pointer to show you to go to the website to read more, basically. There's a lot of, it ranges from scientific papers to full download of tools. It's free download, you just register, so we can contact you and you can send us feedback and things like that. And download a lot of tools. This is just a snapshot to fill in the space of all the tools that we have developed, and most of them are available. In the middle, you see this is the format, the page XML, and this is the layout evaluation and so on, and this is the OCR evaluation and so on. Yeah, basically just a picture of everything. Okay, thank you.